So Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in for our Thursday sessions titled The Bhakti Yoga Way. Just for Wingal, because she's new and this is her first time, just so she has some context. So in the Bhakti Yoga tradition, when we greet someone, how we typically greet is we say Hare Krishna. If you'd like to greet either one of us at the end of this by saying hello or hi or anything, I'm assuming that's okay, and I'm assuming that's fine. But just so you have some context, you can also I typically address our speaker either by his name, or in the Bhakti Yoga tradition, out of respect, we actually address each other as Prabhu. So it's totally up to you if you'd like to address him by his name or you'd like to address him as Prabhu, that also works. But essentially, to give you an overarching perspective, so the next 25 minutes or so will be some Q&A. I have some questions that I really want to ask, and I know there's some people that submitted some questions as well. So we'll get to ask those live. And then from there, we'll open it up to the audience and we'll have a moment of reflection and any further questions that anyone wants to kind of ask the speaker as well. And then we can go from there. So this week's topic is something that I think all of us have felt or are currently feeling. I know I'm definitely feeling it. I know Wingal is definitely feeling it as well. And this week's topic is letting go of the pressure of being great. So how do we redefine our purpose beyond this world of achievement? And so without further ado, I guess to open our conversation up, one of the questions that I have right off the bat is, we live in a world that emphasizes this hustle culture. You know, you have to hustle, you have to earn 6 figures, you have to have maybe this amount of standing in society. Social media has become so prevalent, has become so prominent in our day-to-day lives, where, you know, if you have, I don't know, 50 followers versus someone having 250 followers, it automatically determines the level of influence or stature that you have. These parameters tend to define from a superficial and artificial level on what success looks like in today's society. So can you give us your perspective as to why we've attached so much of our self-worth based on these parameters, and why we've let those parameters dictate what success means to us today?
Thank you so much, Malvika, for opening up this topic. Meanwhile, I'd like to welcome Ananda. He's here. Neha, Nathan, Elona, they're all here. A warm welcome. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. I'd like to welcome you and Mohini Murthy Prabhu. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. Yeah. What I'll be doing now is I'll just be temporarily, meanwhile we're having this conversation, I'll be muting everybody, right? And well, if in case you want to make a comment or anything while we're having this discussion, you're most welcome to raise your hand and we'll unmute you. Okay, this is just to avoid any kind of background noise from coming in or accidentally, turning on the mic, talking. Thank you so much. I heard a very beautiful quote about the topic that we are discussing now. The quote is, you don't have to be great to start. Okay. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Does that make sense? Yeah. You don't have to be great to start, but you'll have to be start. If you want to be great, then you have to start. Yeah. So success. Everybody has a different definition of success in life. Right? Success varies from person to person. But a reasonable definition of success, in my humble opinion, is success is not just about external achievements, it's also about inner fulfillment. And I'm glad that today, in today's day and age, people are slowly beginning to understand this. And that's why we are having this particular conversation. That, yes, it's going to take some amount of time to understand the other part, which people many times feel hollow. But the whole point is, uh, we need to look beyond the external achievements, numbers, stardom, fame, in order to understand the true meaning of success. And today, now, you also spoke about why this attitude of being the best comes in. This world, in our experiences, whatever amount of experience we have of this world, we find that in any field of life, there is a cutthroat competition. Right? There is competition. It's not very easy to survive or last in this world. And that is why many a times, maybe people who have a little more experience than us, they tend to tell us that, oh, if you're not the best, you're not going to survive, right? If you're not the best, you're not there. That's it. And then, yeah, that's where this becoming the best, this kind of, um, let's not call it a disease, but then let's call it a concept. Yes, this concept of being the best, that is something that is transferred in your system. If I don't be the best, I cannot survive. If I don't be the best, well, no, it's not done. Then I failed in my life. So this kind of a feeling, the best, that feeling comes in. This is my humble opinion and experience.
One of the things that you said was you spoke about inner fulfillment as a definition or ties in with that success. So I guess my question becomes is how do we balance this need for feeling fulfilled internally, but also wanting to be ambitious, right? Like wanting to have a really good job or wanting to be at a certain position in society, a certain stature in society. How do we balance that? And can they both actually coexist with one another?
Yeah, thank you. So if you look in our lives, we have four quotients or four quadrants of our life that will give us complete satisfaction, meaning, fulfillment, right? We call it the physical quotient. Physical quotient is a well-being of our body, right? That's a physical quotient. Then we have the intellectual quotient. Intellectual quotient is connected with the fulfillment in terms of the job, the occupation where we are in. Yeah. Then there is emotional quotient, and that is the degree of success or degree of fulfillment of our relationships. And finally, there is the spiritual quotient, where a person has a fulfillment of connecting with the divine. Yes. So when I talk about external success, or I talk about something which is, external achievements, usually people find it, most usually, it's in the physical and intellectual quotient. Because nobody claims oneself to be successful. Oh, I have five really good friends in my life with whom I can just ring them up in the dead of the night and they're here for me. I'm successful in my life. There's nobody who's going to tell you like this. Do you find someone telling that?
No.
Or somebody saying, I'm successful because I've had this marriage for the last 32 years. It's a great success. There's nobody who's counting this as success because this is neglected. Yes, this side of one's personality is neglected. And then if you look at, there's nobody who says that, oh, I get an opportunity to meditate every day for, I've been meditating for the last 20 years, connecting with the divine, having this divine experience. And that's how I start my day. Yeah, that's a great success. Nobody measures success in terms of these parameters. People who might be physically, intellectually successful, if they are hollow in their emotional and spiritual quotients, they don't feel, they don't feel that fulfillment even in their external achievements. They will find it null and void. I'll just let you know the story of Serena and Venus Williams. So their father, he was a kind of a person, he had a job of a security guard. And one thing he realized was his, he didn't want his daughters to have that life that he was, right? So in order to make a difference, what he did was he ensured right from the beginning that his daughters enjoy tennis at the same time they enjoy every aspect of life. Yes, he wouldn't, because he saw the various tennis stars of those times. They had in the teenage, under 15, under 19, they would play good amount of tennis. But after some time, when they would lose their form, body wouldn't actually support their sport, then they would get into drugs and many other things, and they would destroy their life. So he decided, it was very inspiring. I guess there is a movie also made on this particular thing, starring Will Smith, where he plays the role of Mr. Williams. So he kind of ensured that his daughters get the best of everything, right? So he never let them go one-sided and take part in tournaments, although they had the potential to be the best even when they were in their prime, 14, 15 years. He didn't let do that. You practice, enjoy the sport, enjoy the life with family, do well in your studies, and go to your church and pray to God every day. You have to balance everything in life. He did that, right? So that was some inspiring story which I know I just recollected in my just in my memory just came. So people who are balanced in these aspects, external fulfillment, inner fulfillment, that is something that is a long lasting success.
Um, Speaking of balance, I know I struggle with this quite a bit. I don't know whether anyone else does, but I really do uh, sometimes find this challenging, is this aspect of balancing. I feel that, you know, like maybe with the education that I've had and with the cohort that I've grown up with, come from a business world, I've worked in corporate. So it's like very cutthroat. So you aim for this standard of perfection. I want to be the perfect daughter. I want to be the perfect, I don't know, engineer. I'm not an engineer, but I want to be the perfect engineer. I want to be the person that everyone relies on at work. Like there's this huge, huge toll on perfectionism, which tends to, I think, it can motivate us in some aspects, especially when we want to get to the next level. But even when we're trying to get to the next level, there may be moments where we look at ourselves and we feel a sense of guilt, or we feel a sense of, oh, I'm not perfect at this, I'm not good at this. Oh, I missed the mark on this. I couldn't balance everything. I couldn't be the perfect person all around her. How do we show ourselves compassion and grace throughout that period as we're trying to be, you know, great at everything, or we're trying to balance everything, because the world in itself is so chaotic and the lives that we lead are so chaotic to begin with?
Yes, it's something that we need to really ponder upon. There is a story that comes to my mind. Once upon a time, there was a king, and this king was having a lot of anxiety. Yes, he wouldn't be very peaceful. But he had a particular employee. He was a kind of a cleaner who seemed very content at heart. He had a serene disposition. He would smile and he was so very happy in life. So this king called up his minister, who's very brilliant, very intelligent person, and asked him as to what makes this person, who doesn't have as much wealth as I have, property as I have, wives that I have, yes, glory that I have, to be so happy and content in his life. Right? I really want, minister wanted to address this query of the king in a different manner. So he asked the king, you want to see this guy's smile disappear? I can do that in a day. The king says, I've been knowing him for last 20 odd years. And he's been the same all the while. I find it a little difficult that you might get rid of his mind. Want to try? Want to bet? That's what the minister said. Just okay, go on, right? And something happened. I'll just tell you. I'll go back to the story, but yeah, something happened, and this next day, the king looked at the cleaner, and he was miserable. His smile was gone. His contentment was gone. His happiness was gone, and he was as miserable as the king. So king immediately called for this minister. Hey, minister, come back, come here, come here. What did you do? Tell me. So the minister, he told the king, I made him miserable with 99 gold coins. And king was like, 99 gold coins. Wow, that's quite a price to pay, or rather, that's something which would make a person of his stature to jump in ecstasy. Why would he get miserable for that? He told me, sit down, I'll explain. What I did was I grabbed 99 gold coins and gave it to him as a present. I told him, for the kind of hard work you've been doing, this is your bonus. This is an extra remuneration that we would like to give from our side for the wonderful work that you've been doing all these years. Please take it and enjoy. And this person was very happy. He didn't even open it. He was just happy with the fact. He was just happy with the fact that I I'm I got a gift. I got recognized. Thank you. Very grateful. So when he went home, this is what happens. His wife gets to know he's got something. And she says, all right, did you open it and see? He said, no, I didn't. She says, come on, you should open it. So he did open it. And she was amazed to see these gold coins. She said, wow, did you count them? He said, no, I didn't count them. We must count them. So count it. And he counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 98, 99. He said, there are 99 gold coins. She said, you definitely would have made a mistake. Please count it again. So he counted it once again. It was 99. He said, this is 99. I know my math. She said, you're good for nothing. Let me do the counting. So she started counting all the coins. And she said, yes, it is 99. Now you and I, we sit together. We're going to sit together and do this counting together. One last time. And they both did the counting, and it was 99. And the wife yelled at her husband. She said, you fool, you stupendous fool. You have lost one coin, one gold coin. You lost it. It was 100. And now it's only 99. So he said, so what should I do? Now go out there and work hard and get me that 100 coin. And this person, hanging his face low, went to the kingdom and started working. That's how he came, with that particular mindset, with that particular thought process. He came, oh, I need to earn that one coin. And that's where he came to work. And he had all that misery and anxiety on his face. Hare Krishna. So you get the point? So many of us have become members of this 99 club. So he became a member of the 99 club. Instead of being grateful to what he has got, he chose to be miserable for what he doesn't have. And somehow, the wisdom literatures teach us, to one who is grateful, yes, the one who is grateful, abundance is a gift that he gets from the nature. Yes. So abundance is the gift that the nature gives, the universe gives to that person who is truly grateful at heart. And well, I just kind of was analyzing this in my own way. And I felt, yes, this is very true. Because had this person been grateful for what he has, he would feel and have that abundance mentality. But the moment he chose to focus, or rather he was, I can say, manipulated to focus on what he doesn't have, what happened? AC developed that scarcity mindset where he felt that I do not have enough. Is this relatable? Yes, this is very much
Yeah.
relatable to our lives, right? I wanted to hear your thought or two on this.
No, I can relate to that, and I guess I had a follow-up question to that too. It kind of speaks to this this phenomenon of comparison, right? So we often find ourselves comparing, especially personally speaking, myself to maybe someone else that I'm working with, someone else that I'm studying with, someone else that, you know, even comes from the same community as myself. And so you tend to fixate on, oh, this person has maybe this particular strength and I don't have this. And this person, you know, is really good at this, but I also want this. I don't have this. Um, how do we shift our mindset from going from a comparative mindset to honoring the strengths and the skills and the abilities and the people around us and encouraging them to also be great while we're also trying to be great in our own individual way?
Thank you. The question that you asked, yes, the question that you asked, the reflection or the answer to this is right in our hands. Yes. Can we all pull out our hands and show the fingers? It's right here. These hands, this particular hand that's given by God. Yes, it's a very wonderful gift to remind us. Okay, my hand has been raised digitally. I'll lower it. But this is something that is going to remind us of a very great lesson. Each one of these fingers is unique and different. And each one of these fingers, they teach us a very important lesson. Now, when we tell somebody all the very best, yes, so this is all the very best. So this particular finger, the thumb, it teaches us that we can do our best and then leave the rest to the divine. And we can do our best, not the best. And even if we have not done our best, or we couldn't, we planned on, intended on doing our best, but we couldn't. Yes, there definitely will be some kind of a learning experience. You either succeed or you learn. There's nothing called a failure to the person who learns. So that's what this teaches. Let's do our best. Okay. What about this finger? Usually, this finger is used to point at others' faults. Hey, you did this, man. You did this. You did this. But let's use these fingers to tell us that before you point this finger at others, there are three pointing towards you. So let's first look at ourselves. Yes. And this finger should remind us that nobody's perfect, including yourself. So there is always room for improvement for everyone. That's what this finger reminds. This particular fingers, I know some guys use it for the wrong thing, but yeah, this finger actually is the tallest finger. Who stands tall is not a person who is well built. Who stands tall is that person who has good character. So this finger always teaches you that we are supposed to have good character. So we don't show this to others, but we use this to remind ourselves. Right. So this is an indication. Standing tall means having a good character. And what's a good character? Good character is what we are, who we are when nobody is watching us, when we're all alone. That's our true self. And this finger is somebody we need to meditate when we are in solitude. Right? This finger, usually when people get engaged, they get married, right? So that's when they use this finger. Right? I'm a monk. So, well, I don't have a ring. But this finger reminds us of our commitment. Yes, so this finger is reminding us of our commitment to our services, commitment to our relationship, commitment to our self-care, commitment to our spiritual values, and all the various commitments that we have taken or we're supposed to take and we're supposed to fulfill. Yes, so we do our commitments holistically, physical, intellectual, emotional, spiritual. All these commitments we have, we're going to be fulfilling it to the best of our ability. We do that. So that reminds us. And finally, this is the most important finger for me. And this is called usually the little finger, the pinky, right? They call it the little finger. This teaches us to remain humble. No matter how greatly gifted we are, if a person is not humble, we tend to lose everything that we have got. And we even tend to lose all the people. Yes. Because what people look for, or rather what fulfills even us, is simplicity in greatness. And that simplicity in greatness comes when we have that humility, that we have got all of these things because they are gifts of the divine for us. Nothing is truly ours. Everything is a gift. Our abilities, capabilities, our intellect, the friends we have, they're all gifts provided by the divine to us. There's nothing that we have earned. Nobody can be a self-made man or a woman. We have all been endowed with all these things, right? So that this little finger reminds us, yes, we need to be humble. So the answer to what you asked lies within our fist. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Before we turn it to the audience, there was a question that came in. So I don't know who asked this question, but if the person's on the call and they need to elaborate on it and I don't capture it well, feel free to just do so. It says, I want to be great. I dream of great things, but I'm scared of greatness. My dreams are so big, they scare me. So how do I push past that and just go for it?
Yes, I think we need to go back to the beginning, the quote that we told. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. This is Zig Ziglar's quote. You have to make a beginning somewhere. Nobody started off being great. Yes. In fact, the aspiration to be great in terms of an outcome is something which is not a very good motive. No, it wouldn't last long because it will bring frustration usually because we are not great. We are not perfect. But our aspiration should be to be good. It should be to be good. And what is to be good? To be good means to be consistent in our efforts to be good, right? So there are three approaches that people uh, have done a research on attaining a goal. The first one was outcome-based approach, where people were given a goal. Oh, you have to be example, just you have to be great. But many times that's vague and that's not a sufficient motive. People, okay, they visualize we got to be great and all that, but then no, doesn't work like that. Yes, few people attain success by having goals. It's important to have goals. But what's more important is to have a process. People who are process oriented. Well, I will do these steps one, two, three. I will be good at these three steps. And that's something that's measurable. And people started measuring. Yes, and automatically the goal was attained. Well, now, if I were to travel from place A to place B, I need to set the right direction and just press the accelerator. You keep going ahead. When there is brake required, I press the brake. But then we keep moving ahead in the journey, right? So the process helps us to achieve the outcomes. The people who have been process oriented are bound to be more successful than the people who are just goal oriented. And something that does the magic. Now, this is the research. What should the research show? Is when a person has been identity oriented, which means there's a shift of identity internally. A person, he assumes the identity even before the person has attained it. That is something that has given the best results. The outcome is totally changed. Why? Because the person has already picked up that mindset. Somebody wants to be good at sport. He or she identifies by being a sport person, the sports person. The musician, well, that's the identity shift. I am a musician. A student, I am a student, good student. Yes, in any walk of life, when that identity shift is made, right, that is when the success is more guaranteed, right? So it's very important that we first identify with being good. And whatever we do, yes, let's be grateful. And then we stick to the process. Yes. Well, and we keep measuring the process and going ahead. And if we do this two things, in no matter of time, we'll find that we've already achieved way beyond what we wanted to. It happens. Yes.
Mhm. Thank you. I guess we can open it up to the audience if the audience
Yeah,
wants to ask any direct
we can.
questions, or share any reflections, or any even personal examples of how you've kind of tackled this topic in your own personal life. I have some questions, but I'll rather open it up to the audience first.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute you guys. You can just unmute and speak up. Yeah. Mini Murthy Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for the wonderful session again. Yeah, your punchlines are just so wonderful. And I love the analogy of using your hand, to explain the different aspects. So it was really wonderful.
So thank you so much for appreciating. They are actually, in one sense, they are borrowed, borrowed points. Yeah, but nevertheless, thank you. I'm
Yes.
glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Anyone else? Or maybe Vengal? If you're here, you could just share some light. How did you feel? How was your experience?
Actually, that first question that was asked was my question.
Okay, that was yours.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I do appreciate your answer, and as I am kind of trying to looking into entrepreneurship, so I just wanted a bit of guidance and perspective on how to navigate that in a way that's kind and people focused and community focused, but still very much profit driven. So I do appreciate your input because I do feel like same as Malvika, I'm in the business realms, very much profit driven, and I often find the people are forgotten in that. So I do appreciate that.
Right. I just had a thought. My spiritual master, when he addresses the entrepreneurs, he gives a very amazing motto, I would say, to the entrepreneurs. The motto is earn with integrity and spend with compassion. You earn with integrity and you spend with compassion, you will see that you will attract all good in your walk of life. All the very best on your
Thank
journey.
you.
Like to see
Thank
more
you.
of you. Often. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Okay. Eluna, you would like to share something?
I would like to thank you for this amazing session because that topic is very important in our material world, especially for women, because we're a little bit confused, right, in the roles because everybody's equal, that story that we're kind of illusional. But when we come back to ourselves and we understand who we are and what we need to do in this world, and like you said, integrity, compassion, it has to go through all levels. And it needs to be in every day, service our family, friends, business. It doesn't matter what you do. If you start with being great, you will become. that great. So it's just matter of your intention. And what you said is just bang on. So I hope people will practice that. And thank you for your wisdom and thank you for sharing with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. It's all about people practicing. I personally wish to practice many things that I spoke. Yeah. Uh, in the sense, these have been some of the experiences and understanding from life, and I really want to imbibe it more in my own life. That's why I'm sharing this with all of you, because if you preach, you're forced to practice. Usually they say, practice what you preach. That's what we are taught. But then I have seen this in my case when I kind of speak it out to my friends and students. That's when, oh, you told these guys, now you're supposed to follow it. That's what helps me to follow stuff. So thank you, Aluna, for bringing up that point. Yes. Neha has a point. Yeah, Neha, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it was a wonderful meeting. I have a question. There are sometimes like we feel so physically and emotionally drained. Like there are times when we reach a point where we feel like we have given everything, our energy, emotions, and strength, and still we have to like keep going. But we do not want to. Like what to do in that kind of situation?
Yes. Can I replace your question in a way that what to do? Because when you're drained out, what it means is you're lost your motivation. So can I put it, what to do when you lose your motivation? Can I put it this way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you worked hard, you've come a long way, but then in the middle somewhere you lose your motivation. What to do in such a case? Yes, when we feel like giving up almost. That's why we lack motivation. Motivation needs a motive. That's very important. Motivation needs motive. And that is why if you see many of these people who are very successful, they all have some kind of quote or tagline which they recite every day. They keep repeating to themselves. They have a success sutra which they keep talking. They have a mantra that they keep going on with it. Why? Because they want to remind themselves and their team and everyone about their motive, right? And if you are lacking motivation, well, that means we don't have a motive that's good enough, right? Now, for example, it's a simple thing is to rise early in the morning, right? Now, there were different motives for people to rise early in the morning, but better the motive, more the likelihood that we wake up in the morning, early morning. Suppose I want to wake up at 3 a.m. Somebody has a goal like that. Okay, it can be. Now, what's your motive? Well, I want to mm, probably make a phone call to my friend. That's not such a good motive because you can make a phone call anytime in the day. You make it at 5 a.m. So why would you wake up at 3? Yeah, that's right. Let me sleep. Somebody says, I wake up at 3 a.m. Why? Because I want to go out for a workout. Okay, better when no one's there. Okay, fine. But I want to wake up at 3 a.m. Why? Because I want to get in proper shape. And that's the only time I have. Even better. Well, I want to wake up at 3 a.m. What's the motive? I need to catch a flight. Oh, yes, you will do it. Definitely. You'll do it. But I even have guys who have missed the flight. Okay, I want to wake up at 3 a.m. What do you want to do? Oh, I have my dream job interview. Okay, he's going to be there. He's not going to sleep. The person is not going to sleep. He's going to be awake the entire night to have this interview. Right? So we see this happening, right? We see this. Why? Because your motivation to wake up requires a motive. Stronger the motive, better the motivation. So, what is the motive? That's very important. And that is something we need to remind ourselves. Is it okay, Neha? Neha, I wanted to hear your thoughts on what I spoke.
Yes, Prabhu, I agree, but there are like sometimes our motive is clear, but we are self-doubting ourselves. No, we won't be able to make it. There's no way going so far for it. It's just fine, and we feel like we are lost. Should we like keep going, or should we go back to basics and we should give up on everything?
Self doubt. Self doubting happens, and usually self doubts are created in our own minds. Yes, we set the limits. Yes, we are the ones who set the limits, we set the barriers, which we feel that we cannot cross over. That is something that we set. And, well, how to go beyond them? Well, this is how we need to play life. Many a times I've heard this sutra from my superiors, for more experienced people. What will you do? What are the 3 things that you will do today? Yes, this is how we need to be in life. What are the 3 things that you will do today, given that you're going to 100% succeed in those things? Yeah, you will definitely want to pick up 3 things. Oh, I have a blessing today. Yes, you have a blessing today. The 3 things that you do today, you're going to be successful 100%. With what attitude we would do those things, given that we're going to be successful? Yes, and this mindset has really made people perform much more than what they have been doing so far. Is the fear of failure is something that has really pinned down so many people. Yes, it's pinned down so many of us. So when we have self-doubt, we should go back and see the wonderful accomplishments that has happened already. Yes. And if we have self-doubt, there is no problem. We can take simple, small steps. Okay, I have a doubt. I can achieve 90. Okay, where am I situated right now? I'm at 70. Okay, fine. Let's do 75. Let's take simple, small steps to go to 90. And that is something so we have to convince the mind to doing something that's doable. If I've done 70, can I do 75? Yeah, it's possible. All right. Then let's slowly lift up the bar and reach there. So we don't give up. We kind of have a little more of short-term goals. We break down the watermelon into smaller sizes and then eat it. Yes, and that is something that's doable. James Clear, he very beautifully brings out this concept of improving 1% every day. It's Atomic Habits, his book. It's an amazing book. He talks about improving 1% every day because that's something that's doable, right? That's something you can do. And that's something you can convince yourself, okay, I can improve 1% every day. And at the end of the year, you end up improving 37.7%. Right? So don't give up. Just ensure that you have reasonable expectation from yourself. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu. I get it now.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, dear friends. Very grateful to all of you who can make it. I think Malvika's dropped off. She's not there. I would like to thank Malvika for being such a wonderful host and having the right questions to begin off. I'd like to thank Alona, Venkel. Thank you so much for coming. Neha, Mohini Murthy Prabhu, and everyone who's joined the call. Thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna. We'll pause it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.